I'm vengeance.
Wakanda forever!
Hello. Welcome back to the Suit Up Geeks podcast. Follow us on Twitter at the Suit Up Geeks. My name is Lo. You can follow me on Twitter at Marcellus Durden. Joining me as always is Dives. How are you doing over there in Philly, sir?
I'm doing great, man. I worked 7 to 7 yesterday. I just actually finished. I just got done work today, and I finished my Star Wars watch of the Disney investors. I'm telling you, man, I am buying everything I find about a Bo-Katan logo. So wherever you are, Amazon, Disney store, I'm coming for you, baby.
Man, yesterday was quite the day. We're going to dig into that a little bit later, but joining us for the first time in a while, our other esteemed Suit Up Geeks co-host, Mr. AJ. How are you, my friend?
I am doing perfectly well. It's been a great week for me.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
He's back.
Am I back? Did I freeze?
There you are.
We're good.
There. Okay. It's been a great week for me. So I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, if it's your first time on the channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button down below. Today, we are doing our weekly Mandalorian review. Today was chapter 15. And if you don't know already, these pods are always spoiler filled. Yes. So if you haven't watched it yet, please get on Disney Plus and watch chapter 15 of The Mandalorian. With that being said, the title of this episode is The Believer. And again, I mean, this is just like week after week of just action-packed episodes. This one was directed by Rick Famuyiwa, who I thought did an excellent job. That was probably the most apparent thing, I think, for you two, Dives. Yeah. AJ, what was like some top takeaways from this episode for you?
I think this was the best episode of the season. I think Rick did a perfect job of doing both in the filmmaking aspect. He did a perfect job, and just a fan perspective for Star Wars, he did it perfectly too. Lots of deep cuts within novels and video games. And just overall, when we get to see Din without his helmet, which was greatness, it was a great episode for me.
What about you, Dives? What were some of your top takeaways from the episode?
I fully piggyback off of what my man AJ here said. Rick, I love the vibes of like, it was a mix of like the Last Crusade, Taken, Inglourious Basterds.
Yes.
There was some like, even like from Solo, the Solo movie, like you saw from the train scene, like there was a lot of like love and nods that we've seen countless times in The Mandalorian, but it was definitely stayed true in this one. But my main takeaway, I thought you nailed it, AJ. Like this was a perfect balance of like giving nods, making this really fun adventure story, but also, most importantly, building some low-key character building moments. There was a lot going on surrounding The Mandalorian, but like these last 15 chapters have truly been really a journey of self-identity for Din Djarin. Like we talked ad nauseum during these reviews, Lo, that like Din Djarin is not only learning like who he is, but really like who he wants to be moving forward. And this season, we've seen Din Djarin trying to figure out what makes him a Mandalorian. We saw Bo-Katan like shake his world when he learned about the Death Watch clan. We've seen him like take off his helmet only like I think twice now. I could be wrong. It was like once in front of IG-11, a droid who he hated to death in season 1, and then we saw it here in front of an Imperial, criminal. So that has been really, really interesting. Pedro Pascal crushed that sequence. And I love Pedro just like kind of taking his guard down. He was fully exposed. That was the moment, in my personal opinion, that was the moment we finally learned that Din Djarin is ready to do anything and everything he can do to rescue Grogu. You can easily tell that Mando is ready to take down any motherfucker that's going to get in his path to get Grogu back and playing with that little ball in his cockpit. So yeah, Mando has been a man of few words this entire series, and the fact that we saw him take off his helmet so just nonchalant, he is like in desperate mode, and we haven't seen his character to this brink. And I definitely see this moment as a sign of what's to come. We're going to talk about that probably at the end of this podcast, and especially maybe even going into season 3. And I just want to take a quick nod that the only people to see Din Djarin take his helmet was IG-11 and now Mayfield. That is just such a cool thing to think about. That like the people that know him best are like his enemies, and that is just a really fun concept to me. I really enjoyed it.
No, great stuff, man. I totally agree. And like interesting for me, I think my big takeaway, like fresh off my mind, is I didn't realize how much I'd be invested in Mayfield's story. I didn't think much of him in that first season when they did the heist and he turned on Din Djarin. And I thought it was cool when Din Djarin hunted them all down, but I didn't think there was anything terribly special about the character. I know it's Bill Burr and, he has a lot of his own fans, but I really liked the emotional side of his character, getting more into like, because I just pinned him as a bad guy, but it just goes to show there's so much more to being a bad guy. Like everybody has their own story. And him being an Imperial, but seeing the dark side of the Empire and him not agreeing with that, I thought that was really powerful and really important to see. You had a thought?
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback off that. That was a really cool moment because how many times have we seen Din Djarin like rescued right at the nick of time with other Mandalorians and other characters that he's built trust with? And this time it was the Empire. That was a really cool moment. And I thought it kind of reinforced what Mayfield was talking about, like who really is what defines you. And that's what I'm going to also then throw it back to AJ because AJ touched on that. Like this had a perfect balance of character building, just a fun kind of adventure episode, but it really kind of deepened the mythos of what it means to be Mandalorian and who Din Djarin is as a character.
Yeah. Also, piggybacking off of that, it just shows you that there's more than one personality within the Empire itself.
Yep. And
just to see that progress within the Mandalorian show, I feel like it just what's the word? It upgrades the films that much more as well, because we didn't get to see different types of personality within the Empire. We only got to see, oh, I'm a bad guy, I do bad things, and that's it. But now we know there's more personalities within the Empire, which I really do love.
Yep.
How weird was it when they got out of that transport carrier thing and then you see all the stormtroopers like cheering them on and stuff, and it's like I was like, yeah, but it felt weird. Like, am I rooting for the Empire? Like
it felt like the rebellion a little bit.
No, it was definitely very interesting. So let's jump into our favorite moments from the episode. I'm gonna dig right in because you already talked about it, Dives. I loved that table sequence with the Imperial officer.
Yeah.
The tension. You mentioned Inglourious Bastards. That's actually where my mind went as well. Like, there's just something about having a secret, having someone in front of you trying to uncover that secret, and just the stare down, the tone of the music, the way they look at each other, the way they say things. It was just such a suspenseful moment that I really enjoyed, and I loved how. Like I said, I wasn't a big Mayfield fan of the character, but he won me over in that moment. Hearing his side of how hurt he was over his soldiers being like thought of as meaningless, and he really cared for his brothers in arms, and I love that. I didn't realize he had that much heart, and that spoke to me a lot. So. How about you, Daz? What were some of your favorite moments?
All right, I've got 2 honorable mentions, and I have my favorite. Quick nod to the Slave One, which was awesome this week. We saw the Slave One employ like that seismic charge. We haven't seen that since the Clone Wars. Attack of the Clones versus Obi-Wan. So that was really fun. Another low-key moment, and we saw like Din Djarin trust droids now. We've seen him trust aliens like frogs. But this guy gave his armor and trusted his armor to Cara Dune. Like you would never see that in season 1. So I love the whole that trust that he's building. Hopefully we get some sort of crew moving forward if we get a Razor Crest 2 in season 3. But my low-key favorite moment, not low-key, it was the best moment of the episode by far, was Din Djarin saying exactly what Moff Gideon said in season 1 at the very end of the episode. But I don't know it off the top of my head, but it was essentially, I'm coming after you. I'm going to kill you. I will find you.
He is the most important thing in my life, basically.
Yes, you think you know, but you don't know. Like that was a really badass moment. There's a long list of badass moments by Din Djarin.
Can I say something about that really quickly?
Yeah, man.
Like, because Giancarlo Esposito delivered it so well in the finale last year, but the way Mando said it this time was even better. Like, he meant it. Like, he means more to me than it does to you. You have no idea. And I love that. Like, that was just like...
The thing is, they delivered it. They both delivered it differently. With Moff Gideon, he said it with like... he said it to intimidate everybody. Then said it out of what is it? Passion and just passion. And that's why I understand why you think that Den said it better, which I do too, because we all want Den to get Grogu back. So yeah.
And then go ahead.
You can tell like this guy is literally evolving in front of our eyes. Like there's not well, no, we'll talk about it later. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No worries. Hey, go ahead, take the floor, AJ. What was your favorite moment from the episode, or favorite moments?
Oh, God. Basically what you guys said. Also, one of the shot that Mayfield did at the end of that sequence, I thought was very, very cool. And when he said, "We all gotta sleep at night," and I was like, okay, he's slowly becoming one of my favorite characters in Star Wars just because of this episode and that moment. So that's actually one of my favorite moments of the entire episode.
I also feel like in that moment he earned Mando's respect, because if you remember earlier in the episode when he mentioned that sleeping line, like, "Hey, we all got to sleep at night, right?" And Mando didn't even say anything. He just like wanted nothing to do with him. But I think at that moment when he hit that shot, I think he earned Mando's respect, and he ultimately earned his freedom, which I thought was really cool. So, yeah, man.
Can you call me Brown Eyes for the rest of these podcasts?
I loved that. Oh, man. Honestly, that part was really fun. And it's definitely like a nice departure from the action, but in a way that was fitting of the story. Them being kind of like incognito, undercover, espionage style. I loved it. And it's pure rebellion. It reminds me a lot of like Rogue One, seeing like the underlying behind the scenes, behind the battles. That's how the wars get won, is those little fights you win on the inside, blowing up the Rhydonium factory, whatever it was. Epic. So Dibes, how would you grade this episode?
I gave it an 8.8. So it's not, sorry, AJ, it's not for me my favorite episode. But yeah, Rick has like low-key directed some of my favorite episodes this season. I think he did The Child, he did The Prisoner. Correct me if I'm wrong. And now this, like, he's definitely up there now officially as one of the best in terms of the best Mandalorian episodes. And 8.8, it was brilliantly shot. It didn't really push the needle that much forward in terms of Grogu and the Darksaber and hopefully my showdown between Bo-Katan and Moff Gideon. We'll see. Pray it happens. But 8.8, definitely in the top tier of this season's episodes.
High praise indeed. What would you grade it, AJ?
This is a 10 for me. I do agree with Dib saying that it doesn't like push the needle forward too much in terms of like Star Wars hypeness, but it delivered great exposition into the next episode. It delivered just a lot of great moments just for this episode alone. We just talked about I had no problems with this, so that's the reason why I'm giving it 10 out of 10, because I saw this was peak Star Wars for me.
Cool.
Getting a lot of just character development from side characters, main characters, everything. Operation Cinder was mentioned in this, and I geeked out a little bit on that. It was greatness. If you guys read the Aftermath trilogy, played Battlefront 2, or read Inferno Squad, you guys will understand why I got so hyped for that. This was just perfect for me.
That's a really good point, AJ, because I never played Battlefront 2, and I know Operation Cinder was directly tied to that, and I didn't have any emotion. That sequence with that Imperial officer was terrific to begin with, but it didn't have that Ahsoka, Bo-Katan like aha moment like you probably had.
Yeah, I think that was probably the difference. I'm more on the same boat as you, Dives. I would give it like an 8.5.
Okay.
I don't think it was Rick Famuyiwa's best because I really, really liked the sequence with the Mudhorn, seeing Grogu use the Force, and I also really liked the heist play in The Prisoner when Din Djarin hunts them all down like Predator style. So I wouldn't think this is his best, but this doesn't take anything away from him because I think we're just so spoiled with how good every episode is. It's so hard to like, this one's better than this one. This one's better because they're all so good in different ways. The storytelling is key. And I think for fans, we're just being treated to wonderful storytelling by amazing directors, going from Robert Rodriguez last week to Rick Famuyiwa now to Bryce Dallas Howard, who this is her first time directing these types of features, and I think she's doing a great job. So I think from like a filmmaking standpoint,
Dave Filoni is doing a good job as well.
Oh yeah, that Ahsoka episode was amazing. That's actually my favorite episode so far. But me and Dobbs are it's kind of like biased because we're such huge Ahsoka fans. But I will say, as a filmmaker or aspiring filmmaker, I would say I really appreciate the direction of all the episodes so far. So with that being said, we had a lot of huge news yesterday. I got to gauge you, Dives, because you were kind of like late to the party, man. How excited are you for the multitude of information we received yesterday? And we got a lot. Well, how are you taking this all in?
Dude, I'm still numb. The fact that we're getting a live action, essentially sequel of Star Wars Rebels, is that true? Like that's where this is probably building towards, and Thrawn and the search for Ezra and all that. Like there's no words to describe like we've been doing this for a while now. Like how long I've been wanting to see Ahsoka Tano in a series on the big screen. You saw me cry when we did our live reaction during the episode. Like there's no words to describe what it means to have Ahsoka Tano become a focal point of Star Wars live action. My other second takeaway was the Bad Batch. That is going to be so terrific. That was a great kind of element into season 7 of the Clone Wars. I thought they were terrific. In fact, like we talked about the Bad Batch, and I didn't even know that was in development because I talked about Fennec Shand being like the sniper that she is, and I like kind of compared Fennec Shand to what's the not Jesus? I'm
Long Shot or
not Dead Shot. It's
I think it was Long Shot.
Is it Long Shot?
I'm gonna look it up.
That was like the closest I'll ever see to like a live action Bad Batch, but that's going to be really terrific between like Wrecker and the Rambo looking guy. Like that's going to be really fun. But it really boils down to Ahsoka. Hunter, yeah. Ahsoka Tano series. Whatever that means, just inject it all into my veins. Period.
If you had to rank like everything you heard, give me like a top 3 or top 5.
Woo! Let AJ go. I did that. There was right here is my summary of my day. I worked 7 to 7 yesterday. I got home. I watched Marvel, and I died. I was so mentally numb for working 12 hours, and I couldn't even fathom that. We literally finished watching everything that we just saw just now. Like, so I'm a 90s kid, so that's a really tough one because there's a lot of bombs dropped with a lot of 90s content. AJ, you're up.
Okay. Well, unlike you, I had a lot to process overnight. You just had a few hours, so it's perfectly fine. For
How
me,
would you rank them, AJ?
for me,
Like 1 through 5 or 1 through 3?
one through 3 or 5. Okay. Number 1 is the Acolytes, which is going to be set 3 years before A New Hope, which is set in the High Republic era. And it's going to focus on the Sith perspective. And then my second one is the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Just getting Hayden Christensen back is just a delight. Number 3 is Ahsoka, which is still going to be the same time period as the Mandalorian. Number 4, Visions. Everybody knows that I am a huge animation, just big on animation, so that is a big one for me. And number 5, Patty Jenkins' Rogue One. Not Rogue One, goodness.
Rogue Squadron.
Rogue Squadron, thank you. Just Patty Jenkins is a wonderful filmmaker. She can't do any wrong from what I've seen from her. And that's just amazing for me. So for me, it's the Acolytes, the Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, Visions, and Rogue Squadron.
Yeah.
And it looks like we got Geekly Goods in the building. How you doing, sir? Thank you, Geekly Goods. I was actually at work watching the Geekly Goods live stream of Disney Investor Day. So I'm in my company car with my phone. Like, by the way, I'm very safe. I'm not like flying off the road here, but I had it playing in my car stereo. I watched almost the whole thing from like 1 to 4. That's Pacific time, by the way. And thank you, Geekly Goods, for providing that stream. There was 1,000 of us on there. It was really awesome. Really exciting to be a part of it.
Too bad they closed it down. They blocked it off.
I know. Damn copyrights.
Right.
So for myself, I'll go reverse order. My number 5, it's very similar to yours, AJ. I couldn't believe the Rogue Squadron's call because I feel like we had no inkling of information of that until they announced it. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there was no mention of it until the presentation.
So that was huge, and like it was exciting because the way Kathleen Kennedy presented it, and I saw this live, so I was like, "Oh!" She was like, "The next theatrical Star Wars film will be." And then she flashed the freaking title, Rogue Squadrons, directed by Patty Jenkins. It was just like, what?
Also, that's going to be the first movie set in the High Republic era, or around that era at least. So that's really cool too.
Yeah, no, and this is what I wanted. Dives, I don't know if you remember this when we potted way back when. I think it was during the Clone Wars episodes we were reviewing. I want to see fresh stories, and this is like a step in the right direction. I love X-Wings and I love like dogfights, and I'm all for it. So
some of the best moments in Star Wars are the dogfights. So hey,
100%. And number 4 for me would be the Bad Batch. I'm a huge Clone Wars fan. I'm actually gonna write a really epic episode guide for the Movies Matrix. Go to moviesmatrix.com. I'm going to write a guide for Clone Wars just in case you don't want to watch every single episode. I'm breaking down the most important ones you need to watch to get caught up and get familiar with Ahsoka and Anakin and their story. Super excited for that. Number 3, I would have to go Kenobi. The return of Hayden Christensen is exciting, but at the same time, I was a little bit disappointed when Kathleen Kennedy specifically said that he would be returning as Darth Vader, which I thought was odd. I mean, like, I'm just trying to figure out the timeline here. Like, are we going to see him? Like, how long did it take for him to massacre the Jedi Temple? Like,
see, I've been thinking about that. That's why this was one of the reasons why I couldn't go to sleep at night. I was just thinking this through, and one of the conclusions I came to, and I can be completely wrong on this, is that Hayden Christensen and Obi-Wan won't like directly confront each other. It's going to be like a memory scene or like a vision scene. I feel like I could be totally wrong because the way I remember is Darth Vader has never sat on Tatooine since his mother's death, basically.
right.
So I just feel like he doesn't set foot. We'll just get like a memory or a vision or anything of the sort, and we might get the Mustafar battle, and we might get something else along with that. So that's my conclusion, and I can be completely wrong on that.
Yeah, no, I just thought it was an interesting way to phrase it because, like, when I think of Hayden Christensen, I don't think of Darth Vader. I don't think of him in the suit, and I would think it would be a loss for fans to just see him in the suit. I don't understand like how that's gonna work. So hopefully I get surprised. Hopefully they have something up their sleeve for us. My number 2, I'm surprised none of you guys have mentioned it yet. I'm looking at Leo's list too. If you want to throw that up on
I'm
the screen,
super excited for Andor. I'm super excited. That looks so good.
Yeah, Andor looks awesome. See, I haven't even mentioned that.
It definitely got my attention.
So my number 2 is actually Lando. We're getting Donald Glover back. It's going to be on Disney Plus. It's essentially probably going to be a lot like a Solo 2 that everyone's been clamoring for. Maybe not exactly the way we imagined it, but Donald Glover's Lando was excellent. That was probably my favorite thing from Solo. So I'd love to see him in his own series because Donald Glover is just great.
On that.
Who doesn't love Childish Gambino? I mean, he's the guy can do it all. And then my number 1, of course, it just had to be Ahsoka. I'm just so excited. I know that with her mentioning she's looking for Thrawn in The Mandalorian, and we might not see her again. Just knowing we're getting live action Thrawn just gives me goosebumps, and I can't wait to see who they cast as Thrawn. I'm sure it's going to be wonderful. There's so many great actors that could do it. Yeah, man, I cannot believe yesterday. It was just so mind blowing.
All right, I'm ready. I'm ready, guys. Let's go. Let's go. All right, you already stole Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron. That's going to be insane. That is going to be insane. Like, you already know how much I love Patty Jenkins and Wonder Woman. I don't need to hark on that. The Alien TV series by the guy who did Fargo and Legion, that could be really, really fun.
Are we going outside of Star Wars too?
Oh, I was just going strictly Star Wars.
Oh, my bad. I didn't know. I thought we were just talking.
I mean, we can go off of Star Wars too if y'all want.
All right, if I had to pick Star Wars, then I mean, obviously it's Ahsoka. I mean, there's no even comparison. But
you're like Ahsoka, all 5.
No. So I am with you, Loretto. Like, I like Disney giving you fresh takes on diversity and culture. Like, that's the strength of Disney right now. We saw it with Coco and things like that. So I'm going 5. That Encanto, a Colombian story. Number 4, Raya and the Last Dragon. That looks like Korra or like some sort of Avatar type of film. And then
Asians represent.
Awaju, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Awaju, like, that looked fantastic. I love how Disney's stepping out of the box here. It looked like almost like a Wakanda type of image. Yeah. It looked awesome. And then number 2 is What If. I've been on the What If train since the beginning. A zombie Chris Evans, Captain America looks insane. And then Ahsoka's my number 1. So
it looks like Leo's got a good question for us. Throw up that comment. Are we excited for Andor? He's kind of so on it. I love Rogue One. So my thing is, a lot of people thought that maybe he was a boring character, but I just feel like that gritty, dark underbelly of the rebellion was so refreshing to see, especially the way he just capped that dude in Rogue One, like, to keep the secrets of the rebellion. The dark espionage tales is something I'm very interested in. And it also seems like there's so much more to that series than what we imagine. I'm sure we're going to get cameos, and I'm sure we're going to get a lot of interesting fan service from that series. So I'm actually excited for it, but it didn't crack my top 5.
I appreciate the genres that, all these are kind of going into, like with Loki. That genre for Loki was like, what am I watching right now? It did not look like Loki at all, which is fresh. And that's exactly, I think, what the MCU got right after like phase 3 and forward. Like, they started mixing these genres and nailed it. So Loki looks, I mean, I didn't really have Loki in terms of like most expected, most anticipated MCU project, but that looked really strong. It just looked great.
It's so much more grand than I thought it was going to be, definitely. But how about you, AJ? Like, what are your thoughts on Andor?
Yeah, I'm super excited for it. I'm on the opposite spectrum. I actually thought Cassian was the most interesting part of Rogue One, just because of the fact that because of that one line he said, "I've done things, bad things, just to support what I believe in," and we're gonna get more of that within the Andor series. And
he was ready to murder Jalen Urso.
Yeah,
So
he definitely has like this characteristic of what is it, an anti-hero basically type thing. I feel like would be really interesting within the rebellion side, like much like the Empire with films. The one thing that we've only seen with the rebellion is everybody's good, everybody's perfect, and the series as a whole is just expanding that thought process of there's not that one type of personality, and that's where I really like what they're diving into with Cassian Andor.
that's
That's
actually one of my favorite things about The Last Jedi.
Amen. Amen.
Especially Benicio del Toro's character literally
Yes.
establishes that, hey, maybe like it's the same thing. Like whether you're fighting for them or fighting for them, we're all doing bad things, right? So
I love it when Star Wars hits that gray area. We've seen that countless times. That's when it's at its best. And my other main take is I really cannot wait to deep dive into this High Republic Light of the Jedi novel, which comes out in January by Charles Soule. And that's going to be kind of just building the mythos of what the Outer Rim is and just that whole High Republic era and what it means. So that's where this is building towards. And I just can't wait.
I'm surprised neither of you have brought this up. What are your guys' thoughts on Rangers of the New Republic?
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I don't even know what it is.
I do have theories that Rangers of the what is it? New Republic or
Rangers
High
of the New Republic.
Yeah. I think that we're gonna get what's her name in Mandalorian? My brain's all over the place.
Cara Dune?
Cara Dune, yeah. I think she's gonna be a main focus within that because within the Mandalorian you do see her and we might get some other characters within the Mandalorian series. So I think everything is just branching off of the Mandalorian series. I think that's cool.
Lo and I did a chapter 1 review, and that's exactly where I think this should go. Is because when we were like talking about the Outer Rim and what it is, because there's not much information about what the High Republic is in the Outer Rim, and it looks like it's going to continue or feed off of a lot of the vibes that you see in the Mandalorian, that space western, a lot of those western vibes that just really clicks with the Mandalorian. So that's the Marshal Cara Dune. That fits perfectly.
I think Leo is onto something here, man. Pull up his last couple of comments.
Oh wait, I think the Rangers is about Cara Dune, and you'll probably get Mayfield.
Yeah.
Did you guys get like any kind of romantic vibes between those two? Anybody?
Not really, but I can totally see him joining the team. I feel like he made a statement when he made that last final shot to blow up that factory or whatever it was. I think he has firmly established himself on the rebel side. So I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So with that being said, like, what are our final thoughts going into these last couple episodes? There's 2 left, right?
One.
God, really? There's only 1 left?
I believe so.
Wait, we're on 11. I thought there was 13.
So we started with 9, right? So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, shoot. So this is the 8th one. So I guess this is the last one. Holy crap. Where is this taking place? Are we going to just get on some Moff Gideon's ship? Are we going to land somewhere? Oh, man. This is nuts.
How long? Do we know how long it is? Is it going to be like another hour?
It's probably better be like an hour and a half. Just give it to us.
It better be. What I mean, you know exactly what I want. I don't expect Ahsoka to show up, but I do want to see some sort of Bo-Katan.
I think she was only for 1 episode, like Ahsoka too.
No, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really disheartening. I didn't know that. I tried.
Well, you know what's interesting is maybe we might get a cliffhanger maybe at the end of maybe the season 3 will focus on Mandalore.
Yeah,
maybe we'll get more Bo-Katan then.
We don't know how Moff Gideon got the freaking Darksaber. So I was hoping that
I think they're going to focus that on. Oh wait, never mind. I was thinking that we got the Bo-Katan series, but we don't. We still might get it, but I think season 3 will have more of Bo-Katan in season 3. So
my whole take on season 3 is Din Djarin breaking away from the Death Watch clan. You're going to see him a lot without a mask. It's going to change. Everything's going to change about who he is as a Mandalorian. Everything. That's why I think Bo-Katan's going to be in this one, because I think that has been kind of surfacing over the last several weeks about what it means to be Mandalorian, who Din Djarin is as a father, who he is as a part of that like clan. I'm expecting to see Bo-Katan in this episode. I'm waiting and praying to have some sort of showdown between Moff Gideon and Bo-Katan with the Darksaber and everything. It's going to be absolutely terrific. Maybe a Sabine Wren, nod. I don't know. But that is going. It's the showdown on that light cruiser is going to be terrific, man.
Do you think we're going to get a reveal of the Jedi that might have came?
Who talked to Grogu? We don't know.
Oh, there's so many ways this can go. I'm gonna call my shot now, though. I think season 3 might focus on a possible civil war for Mandalore because we haven't seen the armor yet. Where is the armor? Where are the other Mandalorians? They're not all dead. I know they're not all dead. So maybe Bo-Katan and the armor start to come to blows, and Mando has to decide where his loyalties lie. I think that could be a fantastic thread for season 3. I'm calling it now. But yeah, I can't wait, man. Do you guys have any other final thoughts before we get out of here?
I'm going to stick to my final theory is that Moff Gideon's going to be cornered and he's going to say, Bo-Katan, I will give you Grogu if I'll give you I'll give you Mandalore back if you kill Grogu or something like that. And
make her choose.
Make her choose. And Din Djarin's going to have to make a decision whether or not to protect Grogu or for the better good. And he's going to make a decision, and that's going to set the entire planet of Mandalore and the Mandalorians against him, Grogu, and Din Djarin into because that's what the Mandalorian does best when it's Grogu and Din Djarin on the run across the galaxy, running away from everybody. That's just I'm not putting money on it, but
hey, real quick, pull up Leo's prediction. So he's pretty much predicting what I said a couple episodes ago. I think it's gonna go full assemble. Mando, Cara, Fennec, Fett, Bo-Katan, Sasha Banks, and Ahsoka all head to Gideon. I think that
he wants another endgame type thing.
Yeah, it'd be like a full Mando assemble, and I think it'd be fun, but it might be too much to ask for. What about you, AJ? Any final thoughts of where this is gonna go?
No, I don't want to think about it too much. I really just want to go in blind without just. I don't want to think about it too much. I want to go in blind.
Can we do a live reaction to this, Loretto? We have to.
Yes, no, we have to. And AJ, please join us if you want. We got to do it. I think it was great with the one we did for the Jedi. Thank you everybody that's watched that. That was such a fun experience. Dibes freaking shed some tears, man. It was pure cinematic fandom on display. Our passion, our love for these characters just showing, and I think this finale is gonna be super fun to watch. So I think that'll be fun.
It's bittersweet, man. It's one of those episodes I don't want it to end, but at least we have WandaVision. At least we have Cobra Kai coming.
We're getting season 3 too.
I know. It's one of those I'm gonna be
we'll be
I don't want to watch it because it means it's over.
But I think that's also why yesterday was so important, man. We got so much more to look forward to. What a time to be a Star Wars fan. Yeah. So with all that being said, thank you everybody for watching right now. For AJ, for Dives, I'm Lo. We'll catch you guys next time.